I made a mistake. I always tell everybody to listen to their gut and how imminent this is right now. And there is one thing where I didn't do this myself, but there is a reason for it. I had to get there in order to feel this through and get to the point where I am now with this video. Here's why, where, and what for. I had to take notes, otherwise I will not get this info out. So we're having certain facts here. Fact 1, we are all truth seekers, ascending together back to light and source, freedom and love. Agree on this so far, right? I believe yes. Fact 2, we don't all have or had access to higher knowledge, and many years back it was only few who were able to channel, and one was kind of dependent on the few people telling us what the deal were, where we came from. We had no options. Fact 3, all channelers, truth tellers have their own frequency and a level of consciousness at the time they spread their intel or knowledge, which can be of higher consciousness or lower. Even them, they might have been in lack of self-acceptance, self-love, whatever their level was. They were at a certain level and have, according to it, attracted a certain frequency of cosmic whisperers for the good or for the bad. So some of the knowledge revealed was so far from ours and so new we had no tools, possibilities to verify the validity of the content, and we were so hungry for this knowledge, we just happily welcomed it and were eager to learn it. Agree on that? Fact 4, out in the galaxy universes, there are many, many beings who want to be on Earth or want to connect with us in our realm, D3, and not all beings in the higher realms are of good intentions. Agree on that? So that every being will find a match on D3 to get out their message for light, for power, or whatever, to spread light, darkness, or misguidance. Agree on that? I see this like in this analogy. Please bear with me. Imagine we were all in a place hungry, and at that place there were roots to eat, leaves, berries, and we wouldn't know how to prepare them and are starving. But we were eager to learn how it's made edible. And one of the group with a self-image of not so being in self-love, unhappy with certain circumstances, whatever they may be, gets contacted from a higher being and told that they could cook the roots like 30 minutes, boil them, cook them, and add this and this into it and got a whole recipe. People would happily believe this info because it fills their stomach. What they don't know is that the recipe has been slightly changed, so it will have a different effect just through the duration of the cooking time of the root, because those roots have different effects depending on how long you cook them. And they would never know because their goal to fill the stomach has been achieved. And because they cooked the root too long, it took their ability to ever being able to see the truth by themselves, but making them always dependent on following someone else is just an example, right? The ability to become free from outer manipulations was lost. In this analogy, you see that for those people it's very difficult to find out the truth because of the changed recipe. They had lost their ability to see the truth. They became followers until they met other groups and they tried to convince them from the recipe and showed them the roots, the berries, etc. And maybe in that group there was someone feeling in the gut that there was something wrong with this group, always only following the order of one person, never changing the recipe, but feeling that something was odd with their leader. And that new person from the new group maybe would hear a voice whispering them another recipe. And that new person from the new group maybe was in his self-love, in balance, one with himself. In this new recipe, the root has to be put in hot water, not cooked, for 15 minutes. And the effect would be that these people would regain their independency of outer manipulations and all get to experience how their intuition open up and become free from darkness, manipulation, etc. Then, after this analogy, I'd like to tell you that when I stumbled across Ashayana, I was completely amazed by the charts, the diagrams of our galaxies, dimensions. I've never seen that somewhere else. Well, I wasn't looking. Having it all in front of me and being able to study them, this kind of blinded me, and there were things that I blended out. Then I researched more about her and saw different teachings, videos, and was shocked to see a picture of hers where she did completely different. That was another person. And the energy, just by looking at this picture, felt awkward. I felt it felt dark to me. I'm just talking of me. I'm not judging. Also, I must say, I saw a video of her talking about Amenti, which I saw in full length. There were certain things that she said, laughed about, certain remarks about it being okay when you want to have sex outside of your partnership, that this was completely normal and that this can be lived. That's how I understood it. It felt like she was promoting having sex with whoever you feel like it. That to me is a red flag. There is more people in the esoteric movement living this. Good for them. This to me is not sacred love. It's not sacred sexuality. Love is holy to me. Sexuality as well. And I choose to leave this world rather, excuse me, unfucked than overly worn out. That's my choice, because I'm currently a human and not a rabbit. She was saying those things with her husband being with her on that workshop. Apparently, I heard later that she has replaced first twin flame with second twin flame, then replaced the second with the third. I'm not sure whether she called that twin flame as well. About how many men she called twin flame, I'm not judging, just mentioning what did not resonate with me at all. Feeling like you need to have sex with whoever you want does not and will ever resonate with me and will never be part of my life. Some expressions to me still sound strange, unfamiliar, such as Kilanta. First I blindly was excited, but early enough after hearing different things about that scene, I went into myself and decided to keep my hands off of this. When trying to find someone teaching Kilanta, it turned out to be complicated and difficult for me. So there is the law saying when you want something and it's hard to get, it's hard to find, it's kind of difficult. It's not meant to be. It's a sign that you should leave it. That's not your path. People say the early teachings are okay, the freedom teachings. Me personally, I will not connect further with those energies because I'm not sure how for me it would possible to continue to watch her videos connecting with her energy and say, well, but the rest after 2011 might be distorted or it wasn't her, whatever. It's the same energy, and I will pull back from all of it for my greatest good. About the CDT plates, if you have heard about them, it stands for Cloister Dora Torah plates. They're disc-shaped, fit in our hands, and they're holographic disc records which store all our human history. They are a series of 12 CDT plates from pre-Atlantean times, I think made 246,000 BC. My gut is telling me that even those discs might not be fully the truth or distorted, maybe because they come from a source to a human being who was in a certain level of consciousness, just like the analogy I gave you before. So I don't trust them. I'm not going to still my hunger further with all those infos. I feel things in myself brewing up since a while. Something is cooking, and there is downloads that will come forth in divine timing from me, and I will wait for this divine timing and meditate. In my life, I always stood for purity since early childhood. Later in life, with the version of who I am, I was the one bringing clearance and purity back into groups, movements, within healing scenes, modalities. So I will just take my hands off of all this content. Although it is tempting being hungry, I do not want to further let these certain energies into my field. Ascending to my analogy, I feel in the esoteric scene movements are unconsciously serving the false gods with false whisperers. They all make you feel good in the beginning, and because lots of this stuff is repeated knowledge which make people feel, oh, that's legit, I know this. In the future, we are to know to distinguish between dark and light within seconds. So I name a couple of them who I am careful. Daryl Anka, Bashar, Elizabeth April, Kenneth, the new Ashayana, the Guardians, maybe not the Guardians anymore, David Icke. I feel a lot of unhealed wounds in him, very bitter. So it's up to you. Feel in your heart when watching content, what energy are these people emanating? What are they saying? Does everything resonate with you? Are there red flags? Whew. I'm not... Okay.